our today's edition of
Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
Dive deep into our today's conversation. It is important that I remind you all that we have Lovetta Davis that is joining us this evening to read for us the major happenings. So fellow Liberians are listening to us in Radio Land this evening, and those of you that are following live, we ask that our news is about to be read. So Lovetta, good evening. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you getting me?
Yes, you are live and clear. So, Lovetta, please read for us our today's news so that we can proceed to having our conversation. Thank you very much.
Good evening to you, Asa. Good evening to our listeners, and welcome to today's LIB Future Trending News Update. Alternative National Congress political leader Alexander Cummings pledges more aggressive political and communication strategy ahead of Liberia's 2029 presidential elections, declaring that his party will no longer allow opponents to shape its public image or dominate the national narrative. Cummings, Liberians should give the ANC the opportunity to serve so it can grow the economy, create jobs for young people, guarantee every Liberian the right to put a hand on a bowl of rice. Cummings said the ANC is preparing for a more organized and aggressive political campaign ahead of the next presidential election, with a major focus on a rampant response, communications, grassroots mobilization, and youth engagement. We let the opposition define who we are. We are going to define ourselves this time. When they lie, we will react immediately, Cummings said. The ANC political leader placed Liberia's young people at the heart of his political vision, describing them as both the biggest victims of poor governance and the country's greatest hope for change. According to him, one does not have to be an ANC member to support him, noting that he will be running for president of Liberia, not president of ANC. He added that Liberia is a rich country with lots of natural resources, yet citizens continue to remain poor and living in abject poverty, stressing that it is not a resources problem, but it is a leadership problem. He pointed to Liberia's iron ore, gold, diamonds, timber resources, and Atlantic coastline as assets capable of generating jobs and prosperity if managed properly. Cummings identified agriculture, tourism, housing, and information technology as key sectors that could absorb thousands of unemployed young Liberians. Referencing Rwanda's post-war transformation, he argued that African countries can achieve meaningful development when leaders prioritize accountability, discipline, and long-term planning. Anthony Danunka, one of the individuals allegedly connected to ongoing $19.2 million United States dollars cocaine investigation, says he is not the subject of any criminal investigation. In a press release Wednesday, July 8, 2026, Danunka clarified that he has not been arrested, charged, invited, summoned, questioned or contacted by any law enforcement agency in connection to the matter. He further emphasized that he maintains no criminal business, operational, financial, or improper relationship with any person named as a person of interest in the ongoing investigation. According to him, he previously worked at the Roberts International Airport but resigned from his position in 2019, noting that since his resignation, he has had no official role, responsibility, and authority in the operational sojourn of the Roberts International Airport. Duncan stressed that any attempt to connect him to the alleged drug shipment merely because of his past employment at the airport is unfair, misleading, and unsupported by facts. He, however, distanced himself from the person using his name, image, association, or photographs to link Vice President Kun in the ongoing drug bust at the Roberts International Airport. Meanwhile, Duncan noted that he is loyal supporter of the vice president and regards him as a leader, role model, and public servant whose humble beginning continues to inspire many Liberians, adding that he learned from his story of perseverance, discipline, and public service. However, his support for the vice president or appearance in photographs with him should not be misrepresented as evidence of criminal conduct, improper association, or wrongdoing. Liberian Senate summoned CSA boss and RRE boss over statements against the Senate. The Liberian Senate has, with immediate effect, summoned two senior government officials to appear before its committee of the whole following a public statement deemed disrespectful and derogatory towards the Senate. During its regular sitting on Tuesday, July 7, 2026, the Senate plenary unanimously agreed to summon the Director General of the Civil Service Agency, Mr. Josiah Jokia, and the Director General of the Rural and Renewable Energy Agency, Mr. Samuel Nangwe, to provide explanations regarding comments they allegedly made against the Liberian Senate. The Senate's decision follows a formal complaint from Bowman County Senator Edwin Snow requesting that the two government officials appear to explain why they made insult statement against the Senate. Accordingly, both officials are expected to appear before the Senate Committee of the Whole on Thursday, July 9, 2026 at 11 a.m. to clarify their respective statements and respond to concerns raised by members of the Senate. The decision followed discussions among senators who emphasized that the need to preserve the dignity and integrity of the legislature while promoting mutual respect among the three branches of government. Several senators maintain that public officials have a responsibility to conduct themselves in a manner that upholds democratic values and strengthens confidence in state institutions. Plenary noted that while freedom of expression remains a constitutional right, government officials are also expected to exercise restraint and professionalism in their public remarks, particularly when addressing constitutionally established institutions. The committee of the whole hearing is expected to provide an opportunity for both Mr. Jokia and Mr. Nangwe to explain the context of their statements and respond to questions from senators. The outcome of the hearing could determine whether the Senate will take further actions or consider the matter resolved. Nima County Senator Samuel Koga calls on the Liberian Senate to intensify its oversight of the reported $19.2 million United States dollars drug investigation by demanding critical documents and evidence that he believes are essential to ensuring transparency, accountability, and public confidence in the probe. In a communication addressed to the Senate Pro Tembre Yombli Kanga Lawrence, Senator Koga raised concerns about the manner in which the investigation is being conducted, arguing that several key questions surrounding the high-profile case remain unanswered. The Nima County lawmaker noted that investigations involving illicit drugs are by law the responsibility of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, noting that if the matter had evolved into a national security issue, it should first have been deliberated by the National Security Council before being transferred to another institution. According to Koga, the National Security Council should have convened and established a special investigative committee before responsibility for the case shifted from the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency to the Liberia National Police. He also questioned the circumstances surrounding the transfer of the investigation from the country's lead anti-drug agency to the police, while seeking clarification on whether any international security agency is assisting Liberian authorities with the ongoing probe. Senator Koga further urged President Joseph Boakai in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Liberia and Chairman of the National Security Council to inform the Senate whether he authorized or presided over a council decision appointing the Inspector General of Police to lead the investigation. During a comparison with the investigation into the Capitol building fire, the senator observed that Liberia National Police, National Fire Service, and National Security Agency coordinated their efforts and made arrests within a relatively short period, questioning why similar progress has not been made in the drug investigation. He specifically called for investigators to produce telephone call records of individuals considered persons of interest, arguing that such evidence could provide valuable leads and strengthen the investigation. To enhance legislative oversight, Senator Koga requested that the Senate Committee on Defense, Intelligence, Security, and Veteran Affairs formally obtain several key documents from the relevant authorities. Liberia's Information Minister Jeremy Pia dismisses allegations linking Vice President Jeremiah Kun to the reported 19.2 million cocaine case, describing the claims as political gambling intended to distract the public from the ongoing investigation. Speaking during the Ministry of Information's regular press briefing, Minister Pia strongly defended Vice President Kun, insisting that there is no basis for the allegation being circulated by some opposition figures. According to Minister Pia, individuals attempting to associate Vice President Kun with the high-profile drug case are deliberately seeking to divert attention from the work of the law enforcement agency. He said those running around with the Vice President's name attached to the drug case are low-minded people who want to cause distraction to the ongoing investigation. Minister Pia maintained that the government's position is to allow the investigation to proceed independently and without political interference, stressing that those responsible for any criminal activity should be held accountable based on evidence rather than speculations. Minister Pia also urged the public to disregard what he described as unfounded rumors and to allow the appropriate authorities to complete their investigation before drawing conclusions. The remarks come amid heightened public and political debate surrounding the reported $90 million United States drug trafficking case, which continues to attract national attention. Police forwards Phoebe Welker's Union president and two others to 9th Judicial Circuit Court. Three officials of the Phoebe Hospital Workers Union have been charged by the Liberian National Police and sent to the Nav Judicial Cyber Court over allegations of attempted arson, terroristic threat, routine obstruction of government operation, and disorderly conduct. The accused are Moses Dean Davis, president of the union, Peter Yela Motishan, and James Sumo, driver. The charges are allegations, and the three remain presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. The case follows a labor dispute that shut down services at Phoebe Hospital, leaving many patients without medical care. It can be recalled on Tuesday, July 7, 2026, health workers protested in Banga demanding the release of their colleagues and calling for changes in the hospital's leadership, while residents urged authorities and workers to resolve the crisis and restore healthcare services. Philibert Brown cautions Vice President Kuhn alignment over 19.2 million alleged drug suspects. Renowned Liberian journalist Philibert Brown has cautioned Liberian Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn on the 19.2 million cocaine investigation from Page Africa's managing editor Rodney Sear investigation. In a strongly worded commentary, Mr. Brown highlighted Sear's investigative ability as not just ordinary voice, but a one that is highly connected internationally. According to Brown, Rodney Sear operates at a level that connects directly to major media networks in Europe and the Americas, noting that his commentary carries weight far beyond Moravia's debut. He warned that when Sear raises questions about photographs and associations linked to the 19.2 million Roberts International Airport drug investigation, it reflects more than domestic politics, signaling that international partners and media stakeholders are watching closely and expect clear, credible responses from Liberia's leadership. He warned Vice President Kuhn that at his level, even the perception of proximity to suspects can do damage that ordinary political attacks cannot do, highlighting a journalist in court that says a picture speaks 1,000 words, and right now the optics are working against you. He argued that this is not the time to dismiss the matter as routine criticism, cautioning Vice President Kuhn to be mindful of the hour of May, a moment when public scrutiny hardens into lasting judgment. The Liberian veteran journalist warned Vice President Kuhn that for the sake of his office, his credibility, and Liberia's international reputation, it would be prudent to address the questions directly, draw clear lines, and ensure there is no ambiguity about his distance from anyone under investigation. And Queen Johnson, a steward of the ruling Unity Party, calls on the government to prioritize employment opportunities for Unity Party supporters who actively campaigned during the 2023 general elections. Speaking during a live Facebook broadcast, Johnson alleged that some officials appointed by President Joseph Boakai to head government ministries and agencies have failed to employ Unity partisans who contributed to the party's electoral victory. Johnson, who also serves as the National Port Authority's Director for Records, said she regularly receives text messages and phone calls from unemployed party supporters requesting assistance with no school fees and other basic needs. She criticized what she described as the neglect of loyal party members by some officials in the Unity Party-led government, arguing that many of those supporters made significant sacrifices during the campaign. That was the latest new updates. My name is Lovecta Davis. Good evening.
So we like to thank Lavetta Davis for having read our today's news this evening. Lavetta, thank you so very kindly for reading our news today. So Lavetta, you can just drop the line, please. So we like to say welcome back to the national discourse, fellow Liberians. Like I intimated earlier, my name is Isaac S. George, and I am your host this evening on the national discourse. As you are aware, the national discourse is a platform that presents critical national issues to every one of us that are following this evening as it relates to those happenings that I currently transpiring at the level of the public governance sector of our country, and by extension, that is in effect to the social fabric of this country called Liberia. Liberia, as I usually state, is a nation for which none of us can be deported from. So we must be able to every now and then preserve Liberia's dignity, be able to uphold this country's independence jealously as we protect our lives. So we should be able to protect Liberia at all times. So that is the essence of us having conversations that are very vital and of chief importance to the progress of this country called Liberia. So I'm seated this evening, fellow Liberians, to have a conversation with you for us to discuss pertinent matters that are relating to this country. So if you are joining us in Radio Land, this is Kia Radio 95.9 FM. And if you are following us via the internet, you are following us through Liberia or LIB Future TV. It is a platform that is particularly meant to entertain you, to educate you, and to enlighten you as it relates to major happenings locally and internationally. So there are very important matters to be discussed here this evening. Very significant matters that are to be discussed here this evening. And I want us to begin. I want us to begin by alluding to the reality that the problems we are confronted with in this country, it is as a result of the individuals we have been electing. It is not as a result of us as Liberians ordinarily. It is as a result of the people we have placed in positions of power and authority. Those individuals have hampered our progress collectively as a nation and people. So, in order for us to tackle the issue, we must be able to recognize the causation of the problem. And those of the people that are causing the problem are the individuals, like I said, in positions of power and authority. So that is why we usually sit here. That is why we take up our time to come in studio, fellow Liberians, to have a conversation with you, to discuss the dialogue, to ensure that we do not go back to the butchers, but use safer mediums like the radio, like the TV station, like the social media, so that we can engage those of the people whom we think are leading in a very disappointing manner. That is why this platform is being created. It is an environment that every Liberian that will be given the opportunity will use to ensure that they speak to critical national matters. So one of the major issues in this country, and it is part I don't want to say it was, but it is part of the president's agenda is tourism. Tourism. If you look at other countries across the globe, even in the African continent, there are several other nations across the globe that are maximizing the opportunity to utilize their tourist sector. Because through tourism, fellow Liberians, countries on the continent of Africa and across the globe, they directly benefit economically. The economic impact of enhancing the tourism sector and supporting it as a government directly bring benefit to the people of that nation. It brings benefit to the nation, and it is a matter that cannot be overemphasized because the tourism sector across other countries across the continent is booming. The tourism sector in other countries across the continent and the globe, the sector is booming. Why is Liberia's own not progressing, but rather it is stagnant? Disappointingly, it is retrogressing. It is lagging way behind because we are yet as a nation, people, as a group of citizens, as a government, to ensure that we plunge huge a sum of money into the tourism sector to get the tourism sector active. Let me tell you one thing. Most of us, those of the people that are responsible or clothed with the authority to ensure that the tourism sector of our country yields a positive result. Tourism, one of the major factors of it, or the effect of it, is that when the tourism sector is being, heavily supported, it creates job opportunities for the citizens of that country. That is, government doesn't need to put many people or employ many people into major or mainstream governing or sector. No, you utilize the tourism sector, you explore it. It is a form of avenue where your citizens will go and seek job opportunities because they will be available. So one of the major means and avenues that the government can use is the tourism sector. But it looks as though the president of this country and those of the individuals that are clothed with the responsibility to ensure that the tourism sector boom to a commendable extent, they are not ensuring that it does. They are not ensuring that. And it is a major matter. It is a very vital issue that we should be able to discuss as Liberians. We should be able to discuss it, because tourism across the globe, it is not only subjected to the continent of Africa, but across the globe, people are endeavoring into that particular sector, and government is benefiting as the result of the investment they make in the tourism sector. And as a part of the president's arrest agenda, one of the pillars of the president's arrest agenda is tourism. It is tourism. Let us look across our country. Let us look around Is the tourism sector booming? Indeed, to a commendable extent, where we can sit and say we want to commend the rescue administration for getting involved into touristic activities. And Liberians, as a result of that, are having opportunities for job. They are going to work. We have strategic locations in this country that the government can utilize, erect attractive sites. We have other historical sites in our country that this government is not looking into to ensure that Liberians have opportunities to work. It is particularly disheartening. It is disheartening. And I want to speak to the president tonight. I want to tell the president, I want to admonish him, I want to implore him as a president of this country that, Mr. President, the tourism sector is very vital. It is important, and it is a virgin sector in our country that the government of the day should exploit. And Mr. President, it looks as though, even though this is a major pillar of your arrest agenda, unfortunately, your administration has reneged on its responsibility to invest heavily. Your government has reneged on its ability to invest in the tourism sector, thereby in a very disappointing form and manner, making Liberians to continuously cry on this administration for the provision of job opportunities. Because one of the means through which Liberians can work is not being exploited by this government. It's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. That is why Mr. Cummings, as the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, has said Liberians do not deserve to suffer. Liberians do not deserve to suffer. Because one of the major means through which Liberians can have access to job opportunities is the tourism sector. And he has championed that call. He has amplified it to the logical conclusion. He has alleviated that debate that we should be able to explore and utilize the tourism sector as a country and people. Mr. Cummings has consistently said that. He has consistently said that. And fellow Liberians, under this administration, under the president who said he has come to rescue us. Rescue means providing job opportunities for the people. Rescue means changing the economic conditions of the people. Rescue means changing the social condition of the people. But are we seeing major progress? That is why we are utilizing this platform this evening and imploring the government of the day that for our people to have job, for our people to have access to employment opportunities, one of the major areas that this government should utilize is the tourism sector. Is the tourism sector. This government should be able to utilize it. The tourism sector. This government should utilize it. They should manage it where Liberians will be employed. Is it properly managed? It is not. It is not properly managed. So, Mr. President, please, it is a humble appeal because our people are languishing in abject poverty. Our people are languaging in heightened economic destitution. They are suffering. The Liberian people are suffering. And in order to abate or to curtail or to minimize and mitigate the suffering of the people in this country, the tourism sector, Mr. President, look into it. Look into it. Look in that direction. Another thing, and it is a pillow, another major pillow of the president's arrest agenda. You know why we're having this policy argument? Is because we do not want to bring trivialities to the discourse. We want to hold the president accountable as it relates to the policy argument he brought to us when he was contesting to serve as president of this country. When the president was contesting as president, he provided a policy, and those policies are enshrined in an agenda, and each of those pillars that comprise of the agenda, one of them is sanitation also, Mr. President. Sanitation is a major pillar, Mr. President, of your agenda, the rest agenda. It's unfortunate, Mr. President, yet again, that sanitation under you as president, even though it is a pillar, even though it is a pillar of your agenda, sanitation is not being properly, excellently, responsibly adhered to. That is, the government of today is not considering the significance and the essential nature of sanitation in our country. The government is not looking at that. Monrovia is dirty. Monrovia is one of the dirtiest cities in the sub-region. I just passed Center Street, and what I saw was a disgrace. It was a disgrace. If you walk down to the Center Street police station, fellow Liberians, you will understand that the mayor of the city of Monrovia told his guys and his boys that the dirt should be parked in the middle of the Center Street and the fence that particular area. That is the height of our city. That is the central and epic position of our city. It cannot be as dirty. It cannot be as dirty as it is. The city is dirty, Mr. President. And Mr. Mayor, the city is dirty. You must ensure that we have a clean and green Monrovia. We must have a clean and green Monrovia. Honestly speaking, you are not paying workers at the Monrovia City Corporation appreciably. Look at the entire city. Look at the entire city. Look at the face of the city. What impression does it give you when you get down from your car or your vehicle pattern every morning and walk through the principal street of Monrovia? You see how filthy, how dirty the city is. And sanitation is a major pillar of the president's arrest agenda. The rain is falling currently. It is raining cats and dogs. If you walk down Center Street, years upon years, the Monrovia City Corporation is yet to tackle the disgraceful availability of feces. The disgraceful availability of feces. I'm becoming increasingly disappointed. I'm becoming increasingly disappointed in the city mayor. And I want to speak to that. Because in the instant where sanitation is a major pillar on the president's agenda, Mr. Mayor, you should be able to ensure that Monrovia is clean and green. But look at the city. And you will wake up Sunday morning, post on the social media that you are cleaning Monrovia, when Center Street and other major streets in the city of Monrovia are dirty. Those streets are dirty, Honorable Mayor. The dikes are piled across our street. The feces are available on the street. Feces available. What is the sanitation department of the city of Monrovia is doing? I saw it. I was very disappointed, Liberians. I was very disappointed. I was indeed. I was disappointed. Sanitation again. The access of water in our various homes have become a very major problem. It is a problem. I have water and sewer to my house. I'm connected. But to tell you what, fellow Liberians following live and listening to me via the radio, when Mo Ali brings water today, almost 2 weeks before I have water at my house. And I want to believe that I am not the only person that is experiencing this disappointing circumstance or this situation. I'm not the only person. There are other Liberians who are confronted with this happening, and they have been speaking up that the availability of water is not being seen. It is unavailable. The time at which we want to have and fetch water, we cannot fetch water because Mo Ali is not sending water to us, even though we have paid our bills. Even though we've paid our bills. That is why Mr. Cummings has said that sanitation is a major factor in this country. Liberians cannot be living in an unhealthy environment. Liberians cannot be living in a very stained, dingy, and filthy environment. Liberians do not deserve to live in a stink, dingy, and filthy environment. The sanitation condition of the Liberian people is particularly disappointing and despicable. No one, fellow Liberians, will want to agree. That the sanitation aspect of this country has been resolved or has been solved. It's not. It hasn't been. And we must call a spade a spade. We must. That is why we are saying to you that for the Liberian people to feel very rescued, for the Liberian people to believe that you have come to rescue them, those of the things, those of the pillars of your agenda, Mr. President, should be actualized. They should not only be seen on paper. The Liberian people should feel the impact of your agenda. The Liberian people should understand and feel and serve as witnesses to the impact of the president's arrest agenda. If the Liberian people cannot feel and understand or serve as testimonies to the president's arrest agenda, is sickness. It is a signification that the president is not working at the will and pleasure of the Liberian people, but rather, He is working to enrich those of the people he placed in positions of power and authority. Sanitation is very vital. And Mr. Cummings has stressed on that particular idea that we should look into the sanitation aspect of our country. That we should ensure that sanitation should be something of the past. That is the condition, the sanitary condition of the Liberian people should be something the government should take care of. The government of today should take a good care of it. And if the government is not taking a good care of it, then we question the workings of the government. That is what we are doing. That is what we are doing as a country and people. So, Mr. Cummings has some very great plans. He has some very great plans. And as I was reading about him, I usually read about the political leader of the Alternative National Congress. I usually read about him. I've read about other people. I read about former presidents of our country and even the current president. I've read a great deal about President Borkai as it relates to all of the things he said yesterday when he was in the opposition community. And those of the things he stated, his actions and inactions are squarely in contrast to all of the things the president stated when the president was in opposition. When the president served as a member of the opposition community, those of the progressive assertions made by him, his current actions, are very oxymoronic. That is, it is in serious contradiction and it is an irony. It is an irony that we should underscore. That is why we are seated here this evening, fellow Liberians, to tell you that the contradiction that this government is peddling in is defining. It is very clear, crystal. And the contradiction should be brought to book, checkmated, analyzed, and responsibly criticized. And that is what we are doing. So Mr. Cummings has said, the tourism sector of our country is very vital. Very vital. We should look into it. Sanitation. We should be able to make our city clean. Yesterday, when President Bokar sat in the opposition community, President Bokar stated to us that during school hours, children would not be selling on the street. I don't know what the task force at the Ministry of Education is doing to ensure that school-going kids do not sell on the street during school hours. But children are still selling in the street. Children are still selling in the street. In the streets of Monrovia, children are still selling. During school hours, children are still selling. Yes, schools across Liberia may be closed now for the term of the school year. But one thing we cannot ignore is the fact that during the course where schools were in process, schools across Liberia were in process and operating, children that were of or of school-going age were still selling in the streets of Monrovia. Go Congo Town, in that pile up traffic, in that stock traffic, kids were selling. Go in Central Town, kids are selling during school-going hours coconut and cassava. Coconut and cassava. They are selling coconut and cassava. School-going kids are selling during school hours. during hours where schools are in session and those kids are not in school, Mr. President. What is the task force at the Ministry of Education is doing to ensure that children of school-going age do not sell during school-going or school hours? It is a major factor. It is. And no one should be able to the degenerate cliche that this government is doing something very, very, very progressive when it comes to education. No, I do not want to believe that. I've read the budget of the Ministry of Education. I've read the budget of the University of Liberia that affects other public tertiary institutions. And it is very, very despicable to know. It is very disappointing to know that the increment of the budgets of those respective agencies of government and institutions of public concern, the increment of the budget is only being allotted to salaries and benefits and recurrent expenditures. Recurrent expenditures. And that is how disappointing it is. The budget should be able to affect those people for whom that will benefit. That is the students of the country. The students of the country should be able to benefit. How can they benefit? How can they benefit? By the improvement of the structures across our country. Look at our public institutions of learning in this country, fellow Liberians. Look at our public institutions of learning. Look at the conditions for which they are in, how dilapidated they are. The conditions for which the public institutions of this country are in are very disappointing. They are in very dilapidated conditions. And the government of the day is only concerned. The government of the day is only interested in increasing the salaries and benefits of higher ups in those sectors of government. When teachers are not being paid, when volunteer teachers are crying to be placed on government payroll, but the president is not interested in that. The president is not interested. Look at tertiary education. Look at our universities. Look at our universities. Look at the condition of the public universities across this country. As though we are still living in the 80s and 70s, when we are now living in the 21st century. And look at the public institutions of learning across this country. What is the government doing for TVET education? What is the government doing? We are heading to the government's third year. And technical vocational education of our country is a matter. It is a matter that Liberians are yet to see handled. Liberians are yet to see those matters handled. That is why we are supporting Mr. Cummings, because I believe his agenda for all of these things is progressive. You cannot have the government extending public resources wastefully, very wastefully and unjustifiably, and you have major sectors of our country that are in dire need for improvement are not improved. They are not improved. They are in a very substandard condition. They are in a very substandard condition. And one may want to ask me, what has Mr. Cummings said when it comes to the improvement of these areas of government? One of the things I believe Liberians should know, that which Mr. Cummings has stated very categorically and crystally, is the fact that education is the bedrock for the improvement of a nation. Education, fellow Liberians, permit me to repeat myself, is the bedrock for the improvement of a nation. And education is not only subjected to, academics or going to the university. It is also about, investing in the technical vocational educational sector and STEM education, STEM. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Other countries across the continent have invested heavily into STEM education. Those students that are doing the sciences, the government of the day have said they want to invest heavily into STEM. So the students that are doing science courses, they have been given scholarship opportunities. The government has created the avenue where they can have access to scientific objects, to have a first-hand experience and a technical know-how. Mr. Cummings has said he will invest heavily in technology. Liberia as a country, one of the major reasons why we are the way we are, because we are not moving. We are not moving in correlation with the rest of the globe. We are not moving in correlation with the rest of the globe. We're not moving in correlation with the rest of the globe. Because technology is one of the major driving forces. Technology is one of the most significant factors that enhances a country's progress. Technology is so vital to the extent that it cannot be overemphasized on this platform, because we have seen the benefit, the impact, how effective the adverse effect technology can bring to a nation. And Liberia as a country is yet to heavily invest into technology. We are yet, as a nation, people. And under the administration of President Borkai, that have come to rescue this country, they are yet to know how vital technology is, how important it is. How important it is. That is what Mr. Cummings has said. We are going to explore. We are going to explore the technological sector. Engineering. Why will we have students who are studying engineering in this country and we hire foreign engineers to build our roads? Can we not boast of our engineers across Liberia? The only reason why we can't, because we have not been able to heavily invest into STEM education. We have not been able to adequately improve the academic condition of those of our local engineers. And as a result of that, we will always pay huge sums of money to foreigners to come and build our roads, to build our skyscraper or scrapers, and build structures that are meant for public use. That is why, because we are yet to invest into STEM education as a nation and people. STEM education is very vital. It is. And Mr. Cummings has said the government of the day needs to look at STEM education because it is important. That is one of the agenda he has. That is one of the plans on his agenda. That he will improve STEM education. He will heavily invest under his administration. Heavily invest. That is one of Mr. Cummings' plan. That is one of Mr. Cummings' plan. You know, I listened to the foreign minister, Mr. Jeremy Pia, who stated that people want to politicize the issue of drugs in this country. Listened to me very keenly yesterday as I sat on this platform. One of the statements I made that I think I should take your mind back to is the fact that the office of the vice president is the second most revered and respected office in the country. It is the second most revered, respected office in the country. And as such, anyone who occupies such an office should conduct himself or herself in a manner that mirrors, fellow Liberians, the office for which he occupies the vice presidency or she occupies the vice presidency. The person should act responsibly. The person should maintain his or her character, that is integrity intact. And the negative revelations surrounding that particular office should be immediately eradicated, because the second most revered and powerful office of the land is an office where not merely the local inhabitants of that particular country look at, but other countries across the globe and on the continent look at. In the absence of the president, the vice president deputizes. And when and once you deputize in the absence of the president, you are almost like the president because you work in replacement of the president. And when I listened to the information minister, Jeremy Pia, when he stated categorically that people want to politicize the issue of drug in this country, I became increasingly disappointed again in the Honorable Minister of Information. Because the issue of drug in this country is not a political issue. It is a national issue. It is a very vital issue that even people who are from other political institutions should be able to speak to it. People from other political institutions should be able to speak to it. Because it is a national issue. It concerns every Liberian. And as a result of that, you do not expect people to be tight-lipped or people to close their mouths because they are affiliating with a political party. What does a political party issue has to do with a national issue? The drug issue is a national issue. It is an issue of national concern. So each and every Liberian, Mr. Minister, possess the right to speak to vital national issues as the issue of drugs in this country. So when he came in defense of the vice president, I bowed my head in shame, fellow Liberians. I became very ashamed of the defense made by the Minister of Information. This is the minister. This is the Minister of Information. Yesterday during working hours, this particular minister in Jeremy Pia was watching the World Cup during working hours. He sat in his office and he was watching football game, leaving the Liberian people work undone, and want to come in defense of the vice president in a very irresponsible form and manner. That was a very irresponsible statement. Very irresponsible statement. No one is politicizing the issue, Honorable Minister. No one is politicizing it. What we are calling on the vice president to do is to look in his surrounding, look at his environment, and be able to filter, distill, and effectively evaluate those of the individuals. Because recently, as I stated, the vice president gave the public a very misleading statement. And as a result of that, the vice president needs to be called to check. We should objectively criticize the vice president. And you want to say people are politicizing the issue? No one is politicizing it. No one, Mr. Vice President or Mr. Information Minister. No one is politicizing it. This vice president denied having relation with Anthony, even though Anthony stated that the vice president is a leader whom he admires and he has relationship with the vice president. And there are footages. There are footages where the vice president and Anthony are seen in at the house or the home of the vice president, at the vice president's office, at a national function, and with the vice president's wife. And you want us to believe that the vice president and Anthony do not have a link or proximity with each other? They do. They have. They have. They have. So, Mr. Information Minister, this is a caution notice to you, Mr. Information Minister, that whenever you come in defend of an official of government, you should do it in line with being particularly objective and professional. Why are you dismissing the Liberianacity, as you use that word, the Liberianacity of people who are sitting in the opposition community? Yesterday, you were in opposition community before coming to our office as Minister of Information. You sat in the opposition, the government of the day. You criticized the government of the day. Does that make you less of being a Liberian? It doesn't in any way. It does not. And you want other Liberians to remain tightly because they are affiliating or because they are partisans of opposition political parties. So why you did not tell Senator Moi, who supported this government, to remain tight-lipped, to shut up? Why you did not speak to Darius DeLong, who said they will look into this matter to its logical conclusion? Why did you not speak to Senator Vapa, who also said the way in which the Joint Security is investigating this matter is not responsible? And the Joint Security should be able to explain to the Liberian people in a very comprehensive and understanding manner why you did not speak to Senator Vabla, Senator Moi, and Senator Dillon in such a fashion. But you are attacking members of the opposition community. No, it is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. It is very disheartening for you to speak in that form and manner, Mr. Minister. No one is politicizing a national issue such as the issue of drugs. Liberian kids, their future are bleak. The future of the Liberian kids in this country, the young people that comprise majority of our nation's population that are victimized by the utilization of drugs in this country, is a national issue. It is not a political issue. So, Mr. Minister, you are the one who is being political. You are the one who is being political. And you want to lecture us on a political issue and national issue? No, you cannot. I read Senator Koga's accession. Senator Koga supported the Unity Party, and he wrote a press statement. What did he say? He said, fellow Liberians, that the government should be very holistic in her investigation and be able to inform the Liberian people as to the status of the investigation. Why did the Minister of Information, Jerry McPeer, did not, attack senators that supported this government and are still supporting this government? Why? Why? They want us to believe that? No, Honorable Minister. This entire CLSG, this guy who is involved into this particular drug saga, I don't know. I don't know as to how the government is going about this case. Because instead of the government providing an explicit explanation where we cannot become confused, we are getting more confused. We are getting more confused, fellow Liberians. And it speaks to the nature, of this investigation. It speaks to the nature of this investigation. It speaks to that. It does. Because tell us why. As Senator Snow made it clear, the drug law is so harsh to the extent that the company that this brother has been operating should be very, very non-effective at this point in time. It should be closed down because he has been charged and forwarded to court. But the brother is still operating his company. And I've been told, fellow Liberians, that Jojo Bokai, the son of the president, knows this man in question, Paul. And in fact, the son of the president knows both of them. Paul King and Peter King, they are business partners. The president knows both of them. The president's son knows both of them. They are business partners. The same building for which the president's son has an office and operating a company, it is the same building for which the president's son has a company, and the gentleman owned that particular building. And this guy is in connection with those people. Are we saying that the president's son knows about this drug saga? No, that is not what we are saying. What we are saying is, as the matter put forward, there have been series of revelations, and it warrants that the joint security of our country look into that. The joint security of our country look into that. The joint security of this nation look into that. How is the vice president's son? How is the president's son in connection to the brother? as well as, operating in office in the building for which those guys have. When the drug law of our country says you have seen LDEA around this country going to raid ghettos, right? The law says break the structure down. If the government of the day feels as though the structure cannot be broken down, or they do not want to break the structure down, what do? Government put the structure up for sale. Government put the structure up for sale. And that is what we believe that Gregory Coleman and the Joint Security should be doing now. So, fellow Liberians, if you are just joining us, this is Kia Radio, 95.9 FM. And if you are following us live via Facebook or YouTube, you are following us live on LIB Future TV on the national Discourse. We are here every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, bringing you fascinating conversation as it relates to matters that are confronting our state. This is a platform that enables you to have your say. So I want to zero down on this particular issue before we take a pause. Right? We'll soon take calls. Day before yesterday, I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, the pro tem of our country, Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, through the Liberian Senate, donated 15,000 United States dollars to the Yombly Kanga Lawrence Charity Foundation. The matter is so laughable to the extent that sometimes I ask myself, how did we get here as a nation and people? How did we get here that a senator is diverting public monies? A senator, not just a senator, but the pro tempore of the country's Senate, is diverting public monies to her personal institution through the Liberian Senate. How? Why? Haven't the senator read the code of conduct of this country? Haven't the senator read the code of conduct of this country? And she is diverting public money to her personal foundation. Yesterday, when they were in opposition, the First Lady then of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Claire Weir, she was being heavily criticized. Because the Claire Weir Hope or Children Hope Foundation was being supported by the government. And the public criticized that. Because if it is her personal foundation, she should not use public monies. She should use other donor partners to support her. But it cannot be done through the Liberian people, taxpayers' money. It cannot be done through that. And what we just saw, the senator of the country, the senator of Grand Bassa County, who is the pro tem of the Liberian Senate, is utilizing public monies meant for public use for her personal foundation. Fellow Liberians, it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. That is why Mr. Cummings has said we keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different result. We keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different result. So tell me, how those individuals yesterday that argued against other people using public monies for their personal use are doing the same today. Yesterday, we said Clara Maria should not use our public money for her foundation. There is no need for her using the money owned by the Liberian people for her foundation. Her foundation is hers, and every money that is meant for the Liberian people should be used on the Liberian people. So if Yombli Kanga Lawrence is very apt and interested in helping the Liberian people, she should not take the Liberian people money to her personal foundation. She should use her salary. She is being paid. But she cannot use the Liberian Senate. She cannot use the Liberian Senate to support her personal foundation. No, it is unacceptable. If the foundation is a public facility owned by the government of Liberia, or perhaps an independent institution that provides service to the public, and not for a politician like Yombli Kanga Lawrence, we will not have an argument. But Yombli Kanga Lawrence is a politician. She is the pro tem of this country, of the country's Senate, and she is diverting public funds. She is diverting public funds for her personal use. Who knows as to whether when Yombli Kanga Lawrence takes that 15,000, she is going to use it at her foundation. Who will audit that money? Will the Liberian government be given the chance through the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission and the General Auditing Commission of our country to audit Yombli Kanga Lawrence Foundation because she diverted 15,000 United States dollars owned by the Liberian people to her personal institution? Will she? Will she? So this is why we have told you, fellow Liberians, on countless of occasions that we agree with Mr. Cummings. We agree with Mr. Cummings that we cannot keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. We keep doing the same thing over and over. And when the same results come to us, we cry. We feel agonized about the fact that we are not changing as a country and people. We feel deeply hurt. We feel deeply hurt that we are not changing as a country and people. It is very sad. It is very sad. So I like to speak to the pro tem. I like to speak to her. Madam Pro Tem, the 15,000 that you've allotted for your personal use at your own foundation should not be utilized. Take that money back. Give it to the Liberian people. Give it to the Liberian people. There are health workers in Grand Bassa County that are being paid very dismally. There are public institutions in Grand Bassa County. Allot that money to them. Do not send that money to your foundation, Madam Pro Tem. Do not. Do not send that money to your foundation, Madam Pro Tem. Do not. So, fellow Liberians, if you are just joining us, you are listening to Kia Radio 95.9 FM. And if you are following us live, we are live on LIB Future TV. This is the National Discourse It is a platform that presents the opportunity to each and every Liberian to give their own a session as relates to the current happenings across our country. And we are privileged to have you joined us this evening to listen to us and watch us live and have a conversation with us. So now the line is about to be opened so that you can make your contribution to the talking points that were being highly discussed about and largely talked on. So the numbers to call are 0777 959 and 0881871670. The numbers to call if you are listening to us there in Radio Land. We'd like to say you can join us through dialing 0777 959 and 0881871670. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good evening, my son. My name is Victoria Bar, calling from Justinville, concerned librarian for justice.
Yeah, ma'am, Victoria.
Yeah, thank you. You
are our first caller this evening. How are you doing, ma'am, Victoria?
No, but I'll tell you what. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you very much, my son. No, my son. Yesterday, listen, people as you say, I enjoy you. You say, oh, yesterday, the people can't get Marie. We are that they take the coach money, or husband, or president, they take the coach money. You use it in your office for foundation. They were saying it yesterday. They have come today. You can't rescue today. You got a senator. You say you're taking the money, 16,000, even your own grandmother. The preach at their court. You not take it, say you go and send the preach. I'm not waiting for the government. You say you eat the interest of the people you can't rescue as senator for grandmother. Then you take our country money, you put in your own foundation. You say, oh, no, let me tell you, my son, that when they come to power, they come to power to rescue the people. They come to power for their own pocket, and they want the people see. All the things that we are doing the rescue for the people, but because yet, and the reason they come to power to loot and satisfy their family and their children, and the reason they come for them come to better people's life, they will just battle around here, who come to rescue, Thank you very much. God will expose them every day before they become power. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have a caller there? So the numbers to dial are 0777 959 and 0881871670. Please leave away from your monitor. 0777 959 0881871670. The numbers to call in this evening to join us as we've been discussing about critical national issue. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening. My name is Jonathan S. Susinon, and I call from Front Street to be specific, Rattown, where we can get water from the Rahu.
All right, Jonathan, we are hearing you. Please speak.
Yeah, brother, thank you so kindly for what all you have said. You have just said all. You know why? Today, once yes, some of these things that the people continue to repeat them. The same thing they criticized yesterday. They continue to do the same thing. And let me say this. More to come. Before the sales year will be completed, we will see more of what is happening. And quickly to the public school that are in bad condition. And when you take your microphone or your camera to, Samugata or Corwell?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And when you go there and see the public school that there, it is in bad condition. The children sitting in that classroom, they play licking on the children. I went there with one last, I saw they play a bar, a share here. I said, look at public school. Don't have a dialogue in the city. What's about us out of the city? What's about the remote part of our country? So it means that people, we know where we're heading as a nation. It's just frustrating. Every day, our country just remains the same. The same thing you criticized yesterday, you're doing it, the drug issue. I just disappointed in the information minister. We are all Liberians, we got right to say anything concerning our country. The drug issue, it is not political issue. The drug issue, our own Center Street, they started there when we were saying it for any administration. The drug issue, we need to handle it. People took it to be fun. Today, they are going nationwide. When they were in the opposition, they said the past people were in government, they were the ones who were bringing drugs to this country. And today you got drug issue, you don't want to investigate the people. Then you continue to get different information. Tomorrow the 9th, from the 9th of last month, tomorrow the 9th, 1 month, Today, you can't tell the Liberian people, those who are responsible for the drug issue. You work at 6 people, and today you can't get a name. So today, it's just bad for our country.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very kindly for joining us. We have a caller there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm at the Dutch and I call from Central Virginia back settlement.
Okay, sir. We are listening to you. Thank you for joining us.
You know, my brother, while we agree there are problems in this government, this is what made the rescuers are quite different from the other people.
Okay.
Yeah, we can verify that is, we can speak evil about a regime when they go wrong. But as compared to before, they were all free fingers. And we are aware, and we are aware that the previous regime was impregnated with a bunch of looters, economic gangsters. If this country will not afford to have taken this country from the hands of the looters, but now the country would have turned into a complete gangster paradise.
So can I ask you a question?
Why I agree, let me finish.
Okay.
Why I agree that what happened in the House of Senate was very bad.
Okay.
It is very bad. It's not in the interest of the Liberian people.
Okay.
You have like the Virginia public school right here. The children are sitting on the floor. Some of them are on the floor. The school is in dilapidated condition. That's part the school has a full-grown criminal there. But with all what is happening, we saw peace regime promising 150,000 chairs. Now one of those chairs in the entire simple red band district.
Okay.
We didn't see one of it.
Okay.
So to conclude is that while we agree that there are some teachers along the way in this government, but you cannot compare it to a governance that will put us out of power because of that.
Thank you. So before I take leave of you, you accused the past government officials of being state looters and criminals. Am I correct?
Yes, bunch of criminals. Looters,
so we have at least more than 2 years in your administration now. What has the government been able to do to ensure that you bring these people to book? Because you accused them yesterday. So what is the government doing? So 30 seconds.
Yeah, your question is good. You see that the government promised to prosecute alleged criminals. Today you have both present and current, past and present government officials being prosecuted at the judiciary palace.
Who are they?
The court.
Who are they?
You have Abdullah Kamara, the present government official. He was prosecuted.
Okay.
You have the former Samuel Twe. Yes, he was vindicated, which is very good. He went through the process, but he had 3 of them being brought down guilty. So what the government promised is exactly what they're doing.
So thank you so very kindly for joining us. Let us take that other call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you? Yes, so you can call us back. The numbers to call are 0777959959. Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Thank you, my brother. This is Sam Weir.
Yeah, Mr. Weir, please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm phoning you from a Logantown resident.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity and also trying to enlighten the minds of Liberia when it comes to this country. Because this country is above political party, this country is above individual. So the issue, we first of all condemn the action from the Senate, headed by rescue pro tempore. $15,000 is not a small money, my brother. If you put $15,000 in any other public school or any clinic, you will buy a bed, you will buy chair, you will buy chalk, or any of those teachers who are volunteer teachers. $15,000, you know how many teachers will come out there? That is worrisome. But sometimes we tend to wonder, people say, people redeem, this redeem. Well, let's do the comparison. People redeem, No portion of our land was being encroached on by a foreign country. As we speak, the more experienced regime, Indians occupy and push our land. People regime, Labrador not being used as a transit. Where people take cookie, carry and pass away and send it out of the country. People regime, the government did not take 10 million overnight. Go build one home in the forest. Up to now, President saying, I don't know who built the place. Suppose say, oh, man, River Union. Nobody can account for that. So if you will go to the laboratory and say, people regime, that means that you're damaging the fact of our country. You go to people regime, to the issue quickly.
Yes.
I think I listen to other clergymen, journalists, well-meaning Liberians. The team that is investigating the drugs issue, they are not credible. They themselves, they need to be investigated. Because to charge 5 persons, only one man is equal. The man who voluntarily brought himself in.
Yeah,
the other 4, he say, they flee the country. They know. I think about 5 president also.
They are being charged in absentia.
Yeah, absentia. They put now in Liberia. They say, are you serious? The people regime, you know what president we are there? He said the drug issue is an issue that affecting Liberia. So what we do?
Yes, please 30 seconds.
Yeah. So conclude quickly.
Yeah, please do.
This president said no. When somebody build drug in, then you go to the court to get a bomb. The drug, non-biddable offense. But then regime, after they can't afford drugs, somebody who was accused, who was in the custody of the government. They free that man.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, my son, thank you very much. That call left it long before the man get to. He said, "Yeah, government will do to." Your government will take.
No, we gave you 30 seconds. We gave you 30 seconds. You and the man now. Both of you are now. Man, both of you are now having a debate.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good evening. This is Vanny Caddy, 1 million. We are just follower of the bank.
Yeah, Vanny Caddy.
Yeah. Thank you for your topic on that discussion.
Okay.
Baba, yeah. Baba, you know, they rescue when they come on the show, when they to discuss the issue, they will move on there. We agree that was gesture was in power, but now we had a good Samaritan that in power today. But what is happening today with our citizens? Today we see police brutality all around today the country. That was not gangster. We were the past year was a gangster, but today no gangster in power. But today police brutality is all of the day. Today the violation of the rule of law in our land is the honor of the day. We don't have no gangster. But today we can see another man on our land today breaking people home. He said God is not creating new land. Today it's not gangster. Yesterday was gangster. Are you kidding me? Why are you telling me? Yesterday you criticized the past government. You said that you criticized Manaka Ria. And she was using the laboratories pay money. But today, no American law can use 15,000 for her foundation. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 30 seconds. Please conclude.
Today, no hospital. When you enter in the hospital today, you will not see no bed, no medication there. Today, went to St. Johnson. Today, I saw a Zoko. They had the main motorbike today, and they carry it.
Okay, thank you for joining us. Let us take calls there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Thank you. This is Edmond Carr, proud member of Concerned Liberians for Justice.
Yes, Mr. Carr, let us hear you.
Thank you. You know, that is equal to the core for an individual that is the protect of the country that drive $100 vehicle and having $1 million budget every year, and she cannot afford $15,000 to take care of a foundation. She got to go back to the Liberian people and exploit it for them. That is a higher degree of wickedness. So the question we ask is, which one you got there for us now? You got scratch car, you got gasoline, you got salary, you ride on zero car. So if you got
that's greediness. She's greedy, that's all.
Yeah, you got your personal foundation. How about 15,000 US for you? If even you are doing it with fairness, all of the institutions around here, these companies that are running businesses that are running, you get right then. They can be able to support your initiative if all you are doing it in the interest of the Liberian people to take care of your foundation. So that is evil. In my mind, that money should be withdrawn and sent to somebody's hospital. Go see what is happening to Bum County.
Of course.
People are sitting on the porches where they don't have nowhere to go for treatment only because the health worker at the Philippine hospital are saying they don't want a particular person. And two, they want to increase money in their salary because there's a salary disparity and they don't have no good working environment.
Okay,
no
Mr. Carr, thank you so very much.
And nothing.
Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Carr. Good evening, your name is and where are you joining us from?
Good evening. This is V Mobile Sagama. I'm calling on Cinco this evening.
Okay, my brother, please go ahead.
My brother, thank you very much. The first thing, let me speak on the issue of the judge first. My brother, President Bwaka, we have said it and we're going to say that this president is not serious to lead this country. This president is not serious to transform this country. We are discussing over $19 million drugs. This president has not taken any decisive action that Liberian will see and say yes. The same people that it is alleged that they are involved in these drugs, they are the same investigators. For example, they contact my brother with this guy from the Moral Central Prison, and Paul King.
Yeah, Paul King.
Can you imagine a guy from Moral Central Prison with a well dressed up? I thought every criminal from Central Prison would be in their orange suit.
The man can be changing your clothes and all.
No, the guy was well dressed. That simply tell Liberian people that this government is fully involved in the drug business. Now, the drug law is very clear. When a drug is found in a home, in a vehicle, anywhere, that area should be used for government.
So,
now, the home of the kings, oh, look at them, they have access to their home.
Of course, indeed.
Of course, yeah, they have access to their home. Then you tell me that President Bwaka is showing for corruption. Liberians, what make us so small in thinking because these guys get up $5, $10?
Yeah, please conclude in 30 seconds.
Yes, my brother, this is so pathetic.
Yeah, indeed.
This guy said that they came to rescue this country. But today, drugs has graduated from the level of coach to cocaine. Can you imagine that? Where our children were taking cools, and they solar plane, all that thing. But when rescue came, they said, no, that local drug that you're taking will bring the original one called cocaine. So they said they came to rescue.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you so very kindly. Thank you very kindly, my brother, for joining us. Let us take this call from the diaspora. No, not from diaspora, but all the way there in Nimba County. Hello. Hello. This caller was calling. I wanted to call back, but let us take more calls there if we have any. Good evening, your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, thank you. Is this George, right?
You say?
Is this George, right? Kia Radio?
Yeah, this is Kia Radio.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is Lawson Pine.
Pardon?
I'm Lawson Pine.
Okay, Mr. Lawson, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I call from street number 3 in Monterrey. So, I really appreciate you. I'm listening to more of the talking point. And then my attention has been drawn to mostly the issue of the judge, right?
Okay.
Firstly, judge is an emergency case in this country.
Okay.
And that should be holistically.
Okay.
Without being political.
Yes.
Okay, so
that goes to the Minister of Information who wants to politicize the entire drug saga.
Did I say He did not want to politicize it.
Okay.
But then he said, people attempt to politicize it. What he said.
Okay.
I tend to be corrected though.
Okay. I'm listening.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Yes. Cool. So he said, people attempt to politicize. So let me tell you something. If somebody just said, we are guided from push level to cooking level.
Okay.
On the government. So now I would say, compare the lesser evil, push and cooking. Who take push and who take cooking? The amount of people that take push are more than the people that take cooking. I don't want to separate, cooking anyway.
Yeah. So you are simply trying to tell us that even though kush is bad, but cooking is not as bad as kush.
So that the few people take cooking the kush because cooking is very expensive than kush.
Yeah, but cocaine should be in Liberia, even though the usage of cocaine is being banned.
I don't know trying to shikoku cookie.
So what are you saying, my brother?
So yes, my point now, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you come to the Discourse, the issue of national issue, we discuss it holistically in national form.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So when the cookie comes, it will not be a solution that will take cookie alone.
Indeed.
It will not only come for the UP alone.
Okay.
Like everybody, we're talking about generation, our children picture, what we're discussing today. So.
And that is what I said.
So let me just say this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please conclude in 30 seconds. We have calls coming in.
Yeah, no problem. Even 5 seconds, no problem. So,
okay, please do.
Anybody that tries to embarrass the government, we make sure our hope tomorrow when we want to put down people or down people, nobody will say it's a wish on.
Okay.
There are people here in the government that are serving that try to undermine our government.
Okay.
They are in position. We are still, we live in, we let them in a position.
Okay, there are people that are trying to undermine your government. Thank you so very much. We have a call coming in there. Do we have a call? Good evening. Please call us using 07779 959 088 871670. The numbers to call this evening to participate on the line.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
My name is Discourse to Akwalima Lower Jacksonville.
Okay, please conclude. Please go ahead in 5 minutes.
Okay. You know, Liberia is our
Father, please remain on the line. Someone is Theophilus is on the line, so let us hold you for 1 minute. Theophilus, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. So my name is Kelfala Kamara, and I call you from District 7, Sanklepe, Nima County.
Okay, Kelfala. Please go ahead.
So let me say thank you for the show. You are doing very well. You know, the issue with this government, I normally tell people, I mean, it's like when we're children coming up, you went red light to buy clothes, and that people can say it could not mean. So the person convince you that this trouser is so beautiful. I mean, trouser is very good. You ask the person, the trouser can fit. He say no, the trouser oil, but now need to pin out the trouser. So you bring the trouser home and you wear the trouser home.
He said, "Now did what did they do to the trouser?"
They pin out the trouser. They put oil on it. It's shiny, but it's not correct. The trouser fit. So like what the government did, right? Okay. The government, everything they said, they can do this, they can do that. They ran the campaign on propaganda. The issue of jokes. They campaign, coach killing our people. They came now. In fact, the whole jokes situation now, it has taken a different turn. Just today, I was looking at an SF on Facebook, and I saw, according to Rodney C, he said the vice president called him. Okay. And the vice president, even though he doesn't know the man directly, but he knows someone that knows the man. But after he said he never knew the man, how can he say he knows someone that knows the person, right? So as they pass it by, you see the entire judge case gets much more complicated. But what we are saying, for some of us, we are not surprised. Because if you look at the president himself, when he was not president, vice president, there's someone who has benefited a lot from this country. 2 people, taxpayer money over 42 years. He could not show anything. Yet still Liberian people empathized with him and they provided him the presidency. But if you look at his demonstration as it relates to providing that level of leadership, I mean, you cannot match to the level of experience that he has boasted for.
Okay.
He has gone almost 3 to 4 years now. What is that thing that if today he leaves power, Liberian people can say, when President Bouaka was president, this is his legacy. What can we say? Even the agriculture that he boasts of, we cannot point to something tangible as it relates to the agricultural field. So we are saying, come 2029, it is time for Liberian people to actually look at people who can actually deliver, not people who rely on the taxpayer money to fund their lavish lifestyle. And then when Mr. Cummings come in, this is the only person who has given you a clear picture on how he intends to transform this country. And he has a credible, let's say, evidence that you can trace back from Pillsbury to being the regional manager of Coca-Cola in Nigeria to become the second most powerful parent Coca-Cola worldwide. But when it comes to Liberia, what we do, we trade our politics on mediocrity. If you look at the Liberian men, just to conclude,
yes,
Liberian men will acknowledge the fact that the Southeastern road is very bad. And he comes to you say, give me 65,000, let me buy a Land Cruiser. You will get rid of him. Liberian men go and buy what? Corolla. And when RCC car, you will come to you say, oh, mama, you know the car? That road back. But you gave the men 65,000 to buy a Land Cruiser to solve that issue. So this is how we vote in this country. Let us gravitate to the point where we start voting on a basis of competence and elect people who we believe can actually deliver for the betterment of the country.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so very much. Let us take call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, hello. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I want to talk to my baby.
777 0881-871-670. The numbers to call us here this evening on the National Discourse. We've been having conversation as it relates to trending national issues and issues of vital concern relating to the conditions of the Liberian people. We have been discussing largely. Good evening, your name is and where are you calling us from?
Hello, it must be called. I'm calling from Broadway.
Yeah, Mr. Colley, please go ahead.
Let me say something. You know, let me remind some of you guys, especially guys who live in now. These are some of the information facility to preach the Lou election today.
Okay.
When you want to say your candidate, do not denigrate the other candidate. You will lose it.
So what is denigrating? No, Amos, you have the time. Amos, you have the time. What is denigrating about what the man just said?
Why is denigrating? How Boaga stay in government for the 2 years? He can't show anything. He live on taxpayer money. He live blah blah blah. They never not corrupt. Why he show he did do any corruption? Why he got to bless him?
No, the man did not mean the president should steal.
We're not in this country here. When you steal money and they do bless it all around, they will say you poor man, you didn't like the data.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you, these are politics pushing the Louis election today.
Okay.
They were getting good Boaga here. The men beginning the men coming dark way. Who the men can have problem. Who the men wheelchair. RCU.
Yes.
All the things they did that have Liberian people say, but you can do the men like they will vote for them. Some we're not party person. We are independent. Me, I interpret my vote part of the 70,000 votes.
Okay, call it.
When you say a candidate, Liberian people, leave the other pro candidate and tell Liberian what a candidate will do.
Okay, cool.
Come is being the country here for time the election or it can be all alone. Liberian see it.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Amos. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you, Amos. We have a call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you calling us from?
Thank you. I'm Coco from Kawa.
Pardon? You said your name is what?
Yeah, Coco.
Oh, Coco Ure. Yeah, Coco, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the show. You see, they get people in the country. Let's say we get the fast thing we get one motion out of it. So people, the thing of listening that Emily will say something. So more people from UP is lack of the business. One of them is called Prince Tech. We always call it Banner SL. That guy, I don't know what's happening to her. We don't know what is actually going on with her.
Coco, I want to ask you. Hello.
Yes.
You want me plow with the girl? You can call the girl, say you may plow or like, yeah, you can't me plow with the girl.
Okay, that's our issue. You see, the case that was major issue.
Please go to the issue, please.
Major issue.
Mm-hmm.
The people in leadership, more especially your leader, your president.
No, the president is our president. Coco, are you not a Liberian?
Okay, let's go ahead.
No. Do not tell do not speak to the president that way. The president, say our president. Please say our president.
Okay, this is our president.
Okay, our president. Thank you.
All the things are going about the drug issue.
Mm-hmm.
Fully aware.
He is fully aware.
Okay. Even when the serial government is power, that 100 million drug they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying to I brought the drugs in the country, they were having the drug that they put outside the city grade. When they go away, and they okay with them, they say go away. They say we put in drugs.
Okay, Coco, thank you so very much for joining us this evening. I think, do we have a call there? So we have at least 4 minutes. We'll take at least 2 more calls before we leave from here. If we do have the numbers to call, 0777 959 959 088 71670. The numbers to call this evening to participate on our platform. I mean, the callers have been particularly interesting during the course of the calling section. So we've been discussing on trending national issues this evening, fellow Liberians. We've been having conversation as it relates to our sanitation, environment in this country, the tourism sector, the education sector, as well as Mr. Cummings' plan to revamp those sectors in our country. And we've been discussing about the broken promises made by the president of this country, His Excellency President Joseph Boakai, when he sat in opposition and promised the Liberian people as it relates to, the happenings of the day, how, dilapidated our public facilities across the country were, and how he was going to transform the condition of those public institutions. The president also advocated that school-going kids were selling during school hours in our country at the time, but today we are seeing the same thing under his watch as president. We also, tampered down when it comes to Senator Yombli Kanga Lawrence on, action as it relates to her taking at least 15,000 USD for, her personal institution, her personal foundation, to allocate or divert public funds to that, which of course is a very, a disappointing action. I mean, by the honorable pro tem of the Liberian Senate. And as Liberians, we cannot sit tight-lipped to not speak to these vital national issues on the national discourse. That is why we are having this conversation on the national discourse on Kia 95.9 FM. So we'd like to say thanks to all of the callers, those of you that called in and participated on our show this evening. We want to say thank you so very much for joining us and listening to us. Join us here next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, as we bring to you another fascinating edition of the National Discourse. I'm Isaac S. George. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
From the Torres Tower on the UN Drive, opposite the BTC Barrick, this is Kia Radio 95.9. Don't touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it.
LIB, stand up. Take me back to Liberia. song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.